delivery again?
Did you send out kites?
I sent out a couple. I'll be honest, Marissa sent her message and I just got annoyed and stopped. Like, you don't even send out a message half the time. Don't tell me how to send out a link. And now you're going to get me in trouble because we were live when I said that. You see how you do me?
It's all love.
Society.
It's still all love. So, hey, it is what it is. We can't agree on everything.
Thanks. All right. Welcome to Hump Day Features, the Hump Day open mic with yours truly, Shockie G. Today we have our feature, Kelly Mary McAllister. If you would like to read today, put your name in the chat so I can get that list going. We're going to start today. Kelly's going to give us one piece just to kind of be like a teaser, and then we'll go through our open mic list, and then we will give her 15 minutes to do her thing. Just some, what do I want to say here? I was saying earlier that I'm really tired, so I apologize. Getting some paperwork out of the way. The Word is Right has events on Zoom almost every day of the week, so make sure to check out our Facebook page so that you can join. This weekend, this Saturday, is going to be the virtual book signing for the debut poets this year, which I am a part of. It's supposed to start at 3 p.m., but I think it was pushed back, so it might start at 6 p.m. Pay attention to the Red or Green website for that information. There's 8 of us, I believe, that will be doing features, selling our books, signing them, and so on and so forth. So that will be amazing. Trying to think of what else. Next weekend is going to be Poet Palooza, so that's going to be a couple hours of poetry as well. And then the following Sunday, the following day, I will be part of book club. And so this month, since I'm part of the book club, you get a discount on my book, $5 off if you purchase it through Red or Green Books. If we're being honest, if you purchase it through me, I'm not giving you a discount. You're going to pay the full price. Okay, so you better go to Red or Green Books and do it. Got bills to pay. I got the groceries. Price of groceries is ridiculous right now. All right, so far we got Nemo and Black Noise on the list. I don't know why Erica didn't put her name on the list, but she has a poem that we were just talking about that she has to read, so she's on the list.
I'm so sorry. Yeah, I did not put my name on the list. I just got upstairs. I just clocked out. When I was talking to you guys before, I was clocking out and everything, so I'm officially off of work. Thank God. So
there's that, and I'm probably gonna just throw Terry Rose Jerkson on it too. She don't know, but she's probably at another open mic. She always trying to double talk. All right, I think that was all the paperwork. Kelly, you want to hit us with a little bit of a teaser?
Sure, we can do a teaser.
Okay.
This one's a pretty good mainstay. Exercise only works if it hurts. It's the pain that burns those calories. The internal combustion engine of the body is your suffering. Go harder. Your tears should slide down your flushed cheeks, salt mingling with salt, an alchemy of perspiration and pain that makes your pump more potent. You should feel no joy. If you feel a moment of joy, don't. Health is beauty. Beauty is pain. So pain must be health. There's no room for joy in health. You can find joy and joy when you've destroyed the fat, when you've earned it. You don't look like you've earned it yet. Pain, food is only fuel, not a pleasure, not a pleasant experience, but a penance, a punishment. If it's good for you, it should taste like sand, disintegrating in your mouth into tasteless particle pieces. If you're not hungry for this, then you're not really hungry, are you? If the buckle won't latch on your belt, you should buckle down. Buck up. Make yourself less, eat less, be less. No one will love you unless you fit into those pants. To buy a new pair is to accept defeat. To accept your features is fine. To accept a futile future is fat. To fool yourself into the fantasy that others don't see your flaws, you can't ever let them see your flaws. So close your jaws. Diet or you'll die of it. Roll the dice with the vice of it. Don't you know that the last one standing had the life most worth living? Don't you know that the trophy at the end of it all is the smallest coffin?
I love
No.
to hear her.
Wow.
That's dope.
Why aren't you acting
Amazing.
on television or film somewhere? I swear it doesn't even sound like you're reading or anything unless you know it by heart. I'm telling you, I love to hear you.
I know that one by heart, yeah.
Yes, yes. Sorry, I'm trying to get our homie to come through.
Oh, who is it?
Huh, Steven?
Gotcha. Where's General Lisa now? Where's your uncle?
I sent it to him. He didn't respond. He also sent me a poem to read the other day, and like I kind of ghosted it because I didn't feel like reading it. So he's probably mad at me. But we'll see what happens. All right, guys. So that was just a little taste. But we will have a full feature from Kelly Mary McAllister, Kate, a little bit later, and actually get some more information out of her about her history and such. For now, we're going to jump into the open mic. We're going to start out with my buddy Nemo, the Nemo Toad. That's not really his name. I just gave him that. It's the king of the micro poetry.
Thank you. Okay, I'm sorry. I have two micro triptychs I wanted to do. The first one. It's the threshold that's the hardest. Coming home to no one but me. The stench of his self-hatred permeated the floorboards, and everyone who ever loved him eventually got sick and left. Fell winds blow. The sky has turned dark. I still stand. And the second one. I drove to the farthest reaches of the city of my mind, past the snarl of traffic, the incessant honking of horns, the bright lights and smoke and fumes. I stood on the very edge of the great disk, and I peered over. Reborn, the garbage phoenix rummages through the charred remains of previous selves, looking for bits and scraps to stave. She wanted me to fear the storm, as if I didn't speak to the thunder, as if there wasn't lightning in my eyes. It is I who split the sky. Thank you.
Those were some heavy hitters, Nemo. That's what you bring in
Absolutely.
today? That's what you bring in today.
Nemo needs a hug. I swear. His pieces just make you want to gotta go find him and give him a hug.
Right?
Jesus.
Nemo just drove out to Harrisburg, him and Shane, to do some in-person work.
Yeah, with Ma Dukes is up there. She's one of the guerrilla poets, so we went up to do an in-person show. It was really great. It was cool to have a completely new audience.
Yeah.
So
He booked him busy and traveling. Black Noise, Priceless and I were talking about that before we started. So
yeah, it was a wonderful trip. And then and then the backlash, right?
Yeah. Next we got Priceless.
Cello.
Hello. Cheerio.
Um, hmm. All right. What are dreams without discomfort? Unrest, unknowing, undetermined, unrelenting trials of miss and try again. No dream can survive in serenity, sequence void of fog, without a swamp of vision, a burden of love no one can comprehend completely until they get their own. Most view dreams as moments incubated in pipes, snuggled and unconscious, in the midst of floating realms unattainable. Dreams are born in the lonely lamplight of insomnia inked insanity, between sacrifice, bloodshot eyes, missed bill payments, bargain grocery shopping, and school clothes. Right at the cusp of empty nest and college tuition, real dreams take pride in knocking the Sandman off his feet, forcing him to count sheep, lulling him to snore in lullabies. Haven't seen him soft shoe in a while. Dream accomplishing isn't for the faint of heart or the fond of sleep. This work requires credentials Ivy can't provide, for tough isn't enough when your body has to be capable of hauling buckets of blue whale, carrying bags of mountains uphill, left leg sore from kicking down doors. You know, doors are funny. They lied when they told us they would open from knocks alone. Most come reinforced, bolted shut, with gatekeeper hinges. Doors are fickle, and dreams are bougie, stuck up thugs bullying their way in and out of purpose. They don't mind shackling you to a one-oar boat, middle of nowhere. With I can remember when and when I get there, two shadows, fused at the distraction, with the same goal of blocking you from being grateful for here. This time, the answer to what is this now getting me ready for. They love sitting on the boat with you, drenched in what feels like comfort, just so they can butt in on your prayers, disguise their opinions as facts, trying to stake claim to your faith, punching holes in the boat just to plug them again, making you believe they can save you from what will almost always never feel like much needed isolation. Dreams are tricky. If you pay more attention to the pain, you'll miss the sleight of hand holding your victory. Lucidity is only birthed in separation. Clear minds can't function in clouds. Too many voices will scramble the message. Dreams are like soup, simmered slow and flavorful when realized. Be careful not to burn your mouth. You must affirm dreams daily. Can't call doubt into the room. Must dress your dream up. Teach it how to walk, write, speak, how to give praise even when facing disappointment. A wise man once told me, dreams need to be raised like children. Must teach dreams how to life before learning how to dream.
Okay.
Well,
Okay.
all
I'm trying
right
to
then.
I'm trying to learn how to make my dreams into something. I appreciate the, instructions there. I'm gonna try to put a little bit to use. Um, Priceless will be our feature next show, so not next Wednesday, but the following Wednesday. We will be featuring Priceless, so definitely come back for that. Priceless, what else you got going on?
Every third Friday of the month we have Black Noise open mic. Right here on the Word is Right. Shockie G and a gentleman by the name of Brenton Jackson will be the feature for the next show. That is November 17th. I'm also doing a writing workshop on the 21st of this month. I'll be facilitating that with a young poet named Pyro the Great. Um, it's gonna be awesome the way we're structuring this thing. So um, check it out, and anything else, you know, just check out my page. Please follow if we're not already following each other on Instagram at blacknoise.poetry.
Good. What's up, Triple P? If you want on the list, just let me know in the chat and I'll throw you on there.
I propose that we start calling him.
Erica, you are up. Are you there? Are you available?
I am.
Okay.
Okay. Let's see here. Try to move everything around. Let's see. Kidnapped from our home, chained side by side, never left alone, but kept us divided. There's no safe word for us. No 3-hour tour was this chain gang jail cell, more like an all-inclusive torture trip that I can only imagine was pure hell on this sadistic, tyrannical ship. There's no safe word for us. Left in our own stench of vomit and no doubt diseases, muffled cries, with teeth clenched, where pain and misery never ceases. There's no safe word for us. We were doomed from the start, treated as property and even worse. Once our usefulness departed, inevitably ending up a corpse. There's no safe word for us. Used and played us as one with their toys. Abused our men by sodomy until their pride was destroyed. There's no safe word for us. Whatever ways we prepared our children, when they leave our sight, it doesn't matter how valid our concern that they may be targeted because they're not white. There's no safe word for us. Even now, attacks against us are televised for all to see. Public lynching with no real justice, just pretense of equality, no real peace. There's no safe word for us. Home. And as far as what I got going on, I'm supposed to be representing Tesoro on the 10th, which is in what, 2 days?
That's right. You better Millie Rock on every block.
Yeah. So Stacy Dyson is the host. So that's what I'm doing.
All right. Pen and Sword.
Absolutely, positively.
All right. Yeah. So go check that out. That one is an all-inclusive open mic with Tesoro. So definitely go check Erica out and support, right? We got to support each other. You see me out here recycling and features. I'm featuring for Black Noise. He gonna come feature for me next week. I'm gonna go feature for him, and then the next week after that, me and Nemo gonna go feature.
Lord, I'm telling you.
We'll get
You're
some new
saying I
people.
need to get a place where I can feature someone,
There you
or
go.
I'm not holding up my end of the bargain.
All a circle. All right, Terry Rose Jertson. would you do that?
Hey,
He
sorry,
the other one.
in a restaurant, so it's a little noisy.
I can't hear you.
Maybe a short one. Can
I
you hear
can't
me?
hear you clearly. You're like muffled.
Hear me?
Yeah.
That headset. As loud as what? Let me put it like that. I was looking at this one. This one is short. I like this one. I am fed up. I am tired of being ignored by my so-called friends. I am valuable, like a precious gem. I am undervalued by social climbers who think I can't help them ascend. I am considered a work in progress by snooty people who think they're better than me. I am not another step on your ladder rung to infamy. I am an artist who paints with a pen. I am a strong, intelligent woman. I am not going to let anyone find me. I am prolific when I want to be. I'm truthful even when it hurts. I'm not a cartoon character starring in your played out multiverse. I'm able to see the world's folly and make it a subject of my poetry. I am what I am, a poet for a reason. I am writing to everything. There is a season. I am done with imposter syndrome. I'm forgiving my own path, breaking off glass. I'm not your doormat, so don't look under me for your key. Thank you.
What I'm talking about. All right. I wish I could give up imposter syndrome. I'm trying to be like you, Terry Rose. What you got going on?
I just have I have a lot of promises, but I don't know if any of these people who keep saying that they're going to feature me are really going to keep any of those promises. But one of the people I was supposed to feature for was the Norwegian, but now they're closed, so I'm not sure what's going on with that. Another
So,
person I was
was it
supposed to
online?
feature. What?
Was that feature online or in person?
I don't know. I guess
Because
it's not going to be a person unless they do it somewhere else.
yeah, they moved their in-person stuff to the Bowery Club.
So I haven't heard anything from Elemental, so I just don't know. I mean, I didn't hit them up, so.
Oh.
But then there's Chris Moore for More Poetry. He was supposed to have me feature in December, but I haven't heard anything back from him. And just the karaoke on last Saturday of every month that's still going on.
But yeah, reach out to them because the Nuyo, I guess they're moving their programming over to the Bowery until they come back. So, and that's, at least from what I saw, I think it's only like 4 or 5 blocks away from where the Nuyo is. I could be wrong. You know, I'm not perfect with New York City streets.
Because that was in such a great section.
Yeah. It's further south. It's further south than.
Yeah, like that's better.
All
Risk your
right.
life if you go in there.
Huh?
I said risk your life anytime you go in there.
Nah, you just can't be scared, you know? You gotta be gangster when you go up in
I gotta have you alongside me, then I won't be scared.
it. Talking about gangsters, we got Triple P in the house.
Hey, bless up, bless up.
Bless up. How are you today?
I'm okay today. Cold, but okay.
Cool. What you got for us?
All right, this piece is called From My Eyes. And there are the tears out of nowhere, out of despair and desperation. Without hesitation, I uncurled and I cried. Emotionally died while buried alive in a sacrificial tomb. This This is where love dies, I presume, in the womb of words. I could smell the perfume of lady lies, but not enough to hide oceans from my golden eyes. I tried to surf amongst the waves, bathe in its honest droplets, but all I could accomplish was to drown deep as I continue to weep over words, submerged in the sadness that occurs when chasing waterfalls doesn't pan out. I stand out and cry with my hands up to the sky in prayer, in hopes heaven will hear and repair my situation, solve the unsolvable, audible, the unredeemable. This kind of fall is not seasonal. Tears pour all year round, and I am the fool found wearing hospital gowns to dates. Still healing, but still I gotta wait. Can't replace a grace that never existed. I am self-kissed with salty lips that drip from crying. In a crippled from cryptic conversation, I am the worst critic of my own life story. An autobiography that I can't stand to buy, yet I give away for free inside of my poetry. So when words begin to sound like the sad strings on a violin, just sing along with me, or at least try. And there are the tears out of nowhere in my brown eyes.
Yeah.
That's how you come in.
Wow.
I can't stand him.
Love you.
I love
you
you
got-
too. Yes.
What you got going on, Triple P?
Oh, nothing really. I've been on the low, just kind of chilling. Just working on practicing these poems, memorizing, and yeah, just working on the craft.
All right. That's what's up. All right. Don't y'all be jealous, but my favorite Jane spoken word is in the house. And she said she gonna read something. So what's up, JSW?
Oh man, I had to read because you asked. And because you're the shit, I love you. You're absolutely the shit. And everybody buy her new book. It is so dope. It is so heavy. It's just an amazing book. Shockie, congratulations.
Thank you.
So I'm gonna read a piece that I don't know, kind of veers away from my regular type of poetry, but I've been trying to open up a little and get away from all my fuck you poems all the time. So I'm trying. So this is a new piece and I call it Money Dance. So Money Dance. I hear money singing in the distance, burning a hole in 1%'s pocket, jingling and jangling a pocket dance. Perchance, does money dream of me? Listening to the 1% weep and wail and bitch and moan to no avail, for their love of money so vain, crocodile tears over greedy pain, an insatiable appetite for more, their money illusion always banging at the door. Are you cold in the winter? Do you curse out the wind? Does the wind freeze your hands, frost your naked chin? Are your bootless feet icy cold? Does the hawk blow through your threadbare coat? I am hungry with no food. Does my poverty distract you? Do you need deliverance from my existence? I hear money singing in the distance, burning a hole in 1%'s pocket, jingling and jangling a pocket dance. Does money ever dream of me? Peace, poets.
That's a piece. Money jang jang jangling in my pocket. Should make that a song. Jang jang.
I wish, I wish, I wish, I wish.
Right?
Yeah, as a friend of mine who used to do the New Year's Eve and day 24-hour 24-hour poetry marathon. The last few were at the New Yo. Used to say to all the poets, yo, I need the money. Buy books, buy books, buy books.
I'm gonna have to try that. I'm gonna have to try that approach.
That's it. Buy books, everybody. Buy books. I got a new one coming out. Come buy my book soon.
Yes, I'll get it. I'm gonna get it.
All righty. Thank you. Thanks, Shockie, for inviting me.
Thank you. Man, I wonder if money thinks about me.
Eh.
Hopefully he's planning a vacation to come over here.
Yeah, word.
All right, so up next we got our feature, Kelly Mary McAllister. And I gotta tell you, I seen her post to Triple P just now, and I love it when people start getting addicted to slam, because slam is toxic. I'm not gonna lie, it's toxic. But like, I get happy when people like it because I've fallen in, like, I'm like in a love-hate relationship with it. And Josh Smalls is the one who got me into slam. And like now, anytime I mention slam to him, he's like, slam is bullshit. And I'm like, I fucking hate you because I'm addicted now. Thanks.
It's
but
tax-free money, isn't it? If you guys win, it's tax-free money.
you know, well, anything's tax-free if you don't tell the government about it.
There. So I'm just saying.
But
Streaming live.
huh?
Just a reminder that we are streaming live.
They ain't gonna know anything. Listen, I got a letter in my inbox the other day for my student loans, and they want $1,200 for 1 month. Okay, my rent's not even $1,200. So when it comes to Uncle Sam, they can suck something. Back to Kelly Mary McAllister.
I
So
get it.
she did do her first slam recently, and she won it. Millie Rock on every block, even in Toronto. And as you can see, she's got the bug now. She's gonna do some more. Kelly is one of my favorite poet friends to bother on Instagram. It's usually either Kelly or Nemo that I'm messaging and annoying. And most recently it's been Priceless. I'm not gonna lie. I've been talking to Priceless more and more. So I'm really happy for the community that we have here. You guys, everyone in this room. I appreciate y'all. Some days it's just amazing to talk to you. Back to Kelly. You see how that I got like ADD or something. But yes, 15 minutes starting now. Let us hear. And you can tell us about you too. You can give us your history if you want.
I mean, my history is not that interesting, so I'll let my poem speak for me. Actually, my history is probably very interesting, but in like a real trauma dumping kind of way. But that's what the poems are for. And I also have ADHD, so we're about to get all over the place. I guess I'll start with one that I just wrote moments ago, right before this started. It's a little baby poem, which is unusual for me. I've also got a micro poem coming up for Nina. I only have like 2, like ever. I'm not good at concise. So this one's so new it doesn't have a title. It feels as if the world is aflame. Cruelty and injustice littering a globe already rife with our refuse. There is so much noise. It can be hard to hear truth as it cries out from beneath the cacophony of bombs and bullets. Are you listening for it? With your heart? With your eyes wide open? Or have you closed them, afraid of what you will see? Open them. Now is the time to see, to stretch your arms wide, to hold all of humanity within the love of your embrace, pulling with all your might in the direction of peace. So that is my first little baby. And then I will do my micro poem for Nemo. It's called Foreclosure. A reclamation of what was mine before it was yours and never was ours. It's just a little baby. I also have one that my sister wants on a mug called Drama Queens. I wish I could escape the drama inherited from my mama and our collective trauma. It's going on a mug.
Those are awesome.
Thank you.
Those are awesome.
You are the master.
And you said that you can't do concise.
I rarely do. Let me
That's
bother.
fair. That's fair. But it's clear that the capability is there.
Excellent.
It's fair to say.
Yes, it has to do with the mood strikes. And well, I guess we'll take a journey all the way back to one of the first poems I ever wrote. And I don't know why I wrote it. One of those scribbling it in your notes app things. And I thought it was just a piece of prose, but then I realized it was a poem. This one's called Baggage. In amongst the unfinished to-do lists, the endless candy wrappers, the crumbs of pastries I didn't even like but finished anyways. In amongst the pens still full of the ink not used to write the thoughts still stuck in my full head. In amongst the books and books and books, all finished and read over and over and over, piled like travel guides for trips already taken. In amongst the hairpins and safety pins and push pins, with blood long dried from years of self-harm and the empty bottles of pills once taken. In amongst this flotsam are the dreams I once had. All of this detritus floats amongst the tears that I cried with my head in my bag while calling a muffled, "It's just allergies, no worries," to concerned passerbys, unlucky enough to have been seated on the subway nearby. I think I shoved my heart somewhere in there, amongst the junk, the garbage, the treasures. But it's lost at the bottom, and I can never find it when I need it. I'm considering having a spare made to leave with a trusted friend, but I'm worried I lost it for good this time. This baggage is heavy. I thought my shoulders had grown wider, my back stronger, the weight familiar. I thought I had finally learned how to carry it. But I have ripped a seam. Again. I have ripped a seam again. And so I must rush to repair it before my past and myself spill out on the floor of this subway car, and I get gum on my soul. And that is Baggage. The next two are two pieces that were published by The Door is Ajar literary magazine, which I really liked because it has a really accessible approach to poetry and prose. It's not the most dense or the most literary magazine out there, but it's got, I think, some of the most relatable poems. So I was really proud to have both of these included in one of their issues. The first is called The Practice of Losing. I lose things all the time. I'm quite hopeless in that regard. I'm often found frantically searching for my keys and debit cards. I've lost whole family branches, one day there, then gone the next. They're still somewhere in the world, but for me, forcibly annexed. Between adoptions and divorces, I've somehow managed to lose more grandfathers than any one person should even be able to claim their due. I've lost wonderful colleagues without any sign or warning. I've cried for them in conference rooms, performed collective mourning. But the loss of you was something new that shook the ground beneath my feet. A loss that changed my landscape, the map of my world made obsolete. I lose things all the time. I'm quite hopeless in that regard. But despite my practice losing, I still got lost in your graveyard. Like an amateur cartographer, I will redraw those maps. But now I take it down in pencil, for I've learned how fast it can collapse. And the related poem, So Strong. When you live with a mental illness, people love to tell you how strong you are with fear in their eyes. Is it because they see how much you carry? Of the battles that you fight in the fields of your own mind? Of the invisible weight you must lift every day? Or do they put those words into the world like a prophecy that they hope to be true? Because they are afraid that your strength will not be enough in the end. While we are on a mental health journey together, let's go with a newish poem that I wrote called Hunted. I feel like my depression is behind me. Not that I have overcome it. Climbed out of the hole, the living grave it digs for me, sapping all the color from reality until I'm ready to lie in it willingly. I feel like my depression is behind me like a predator. Heavy footfalls that echo my own hot breath on the back of my neck that makes the soft hairs stand up in warning. The hackles of a wolf that only attacks itself. I've danced with depression for decades, a frantic paso doble as it stalked me around the dance floor, and I twirled and I twisted and I twined, gracefully eluding any prolonged hold. Sometimes I was dipped so low I wondered at my ability to ever regain my feet. But momentum carried me through. If I never stopped moving, if I never stood still, I was safe. I danced through my life, always moving, cursed like Anderson's red shoes. But all things take a toll, and now I'm paying my dues. I can't even walk properly anymore, let alone dance. My bones have betrayed me. The doctors can fix it, but won't because of what I weigh. So for the time being, I'm easy prey who cannot run away. I can only laze about and while away the days, watching my life go astray, my mind in utter disarray, as I write these maudlin poems full of worthless cliches. My dance with depression is now a battle of wills, while my will is whittled away. I'm playing useless checkers against chessmaster skills. I'm tired of being mentally ill and physically still, with pain that no pill can kill. I feel like my depression is behind me, closer than ever before, like a lover at my back, the probable winner of this war. I feel like my depression is behind me. I don't know what happens now. I feel like my depression is behind me. I'm so afraid to turn around. That's Hunted. And a related poem written around the same time period with a few of the same themes is called Morbidly. The chairs in this waiting room are too small. The unforgiving plastic arms cut into the flesh of my belly, which spills over the side a little. That's me, a mess, decades in the making. I'm used to this indignity. You see, very rarely does the seating suit me. But this is a bariatric clinic, a place for people like me, a place for the befores, where they try to make us into the afters. I like the word bariatric. I think it's kind of cute. Makes me think of aging bears wearing little round spectacles on their gray little snoots. Not like the word obese, with that ominous long E, like an owl's screech, or a plaintiff beseech, or worse, morbidly obese. I am morbid, admittedly. Well, humorously. But medically, I guess that's me. Obese. Morbidly. I've never had a doctor call me that, though. Not to my face. It's reserved for comments from strangers passing me on the street, or hurled from the back seat of a car flying down the concrete. I used to keep my eyes down when I walked, just focus on my own 2 feet. If carrying the scorn of the world was a sport, well, call me an athlete. I've been carrying this weight since before the scale confirmed my fate, a tendency to fat, a family trait. So the panic started when I was about 8, a totally normal size for a childlike state. But the fear in my mother's eyes didn't abate, so for decades I have been hyper aware of everything I ate, but also taught to clean my plates. I learned to hide what I was eating, cheating on the diets my mother had me completing, repeating the toxic behaviors of her own rearing. But trying to hate yourself thin is inherently self-defeating. So I tried to love myself to health, regardless of my size, overcome my crippling fear of exercise. Not the movement itself, just the judgment that I felt whenever I went out. The derision spat at me, and even the encouragement, patronizing, if heartfelt. I got myself a dog, and together we explored this incredible city, the journey its own reward. And would you look at that? The pounds started to disappear. Not that I was keeping track, but the people I hold dear couldn't wait to comment on how I appeared. Their well-meaning comments as cutting as a sneer. But I wasn't austere. I didn't live in fear. I was happy. That's what mattered. I was active, mind clear. But my hips disagreed. My femurs all bent out of shape. And slowly every step became pain I couldn't escape. Now I walk with a cane, a limp that makes my back ache. And the icing on this cake is the surgeon's take. He can fix it, but won't, because I gained back the weight. So I sit in this room with the uncomfortable chairs, and I listen to platitudes about restraint and forbearance. The glances are back, looking askance at my cane, and when I use a wheelchair, I'm terrified of what people will say. I just wanted to be happy. Is that too much to ask? Can't fat people be happy? It doesn't mean that thin folks lack. Though right now, I'd simply settle for a chair that fits my fat ass. I've got, I think, 2 more for you. No, I lied. 3. They're shortish. So I've got Why I Do Not Write of Love. I could write novels of how achingly lonely the embrace of a stranger, flickers of heat when what you want is an inferno, tinder without kindling so quickly goes out. I could fill volumes of clinical observations on those who have filled my body but not my heart, held me without having me, looked at me but never could see me. I could compose arias of the orgasms I've faked. When the destination isn't in reach, I just wait, bored for another's climax, a passenger instead of a partner. I could write a symphony of the melodic murmuring of empty platitudes, of the snicks of softly closed doors never again opened, of how full the silence that lingers. But I cannot write of what I do not know. And I know love as well as they knew me, which is to say, not at all. This one is particularly confessional, so I told you we'd get some trauma dumping here. This one's called My Stepfather Unfriended Me on Facebook. My stepfather unfriended me on Facebook. Well, my former stepfather. Not formally. Formerly, but not formally. My mother's former common law boyfriend. My father figure of nearly 2 decades. Unfriended me on Facebook. The man who shared a bedroom and a home and a family with my mother since I was 16. The man who taught me how to drive. With a preternatural calm, a gentle, maybe don't do that again. Do what? Run a red light. Oh, has unfriended me on Facebook. The man whose home I haunted during a nervous breakdown, whose washing machine I commandeered for years when I did not have one, whose groceries I pillaged at every visit, the man who burned me a CD of Rocky Horror songs as a first gesture of goodwill, the man who has been in my life since burning CDs was a thing, has unfriended me on Facebook. The man who once found a menstrual crime scene on a toilet seat and with a delicate dignity told me I may want to revisit the bathroom and take care of it. The man who walked my sister down the aisle, towards the man who would be the father of my nieces, who would sit on his lap and call him Gramps, has unfriended me on Facebook. The audacity of this man, who wore down the walls of my prematurely jaded heart with decades of showing up, because that's the lion's share of being a parent, isn't it? The minimum? Just showing up? Well, he has shown himself out. My stepfather unfriended me on Facebook, is all I tell you. And that brings us to the last poem, but I can't decide between the last one. Do we want the poverty poem or another family confessional?
Kind of
Both,
sounds like both.
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 Okay, we'll start with the poverty poem then. This one's called They Don't Call It Poverty. They don't call it food insecurity when their cupboards are more bare than not. They call it math. The calculation of what they have versus what they do not, and how long will it be until they have again, and how long will that last, and how far can they stretch a bag of rice, and how long is too long without fresh vegetables, and what makes you fullest, longest, on the slimmest sliver of a cent. They don't call it housing security, when even their dreams cannot conceive of owning a home. They call it rigged, when those with excess cash or impeccable credit or the largesse of family wealth can afford the down payment on a home, where a mortgage payment is so often lower than the ever escalating extortion of private market rent that makes it impossible to save enough to escape the wheel of chance that is renting in a market that cares for investors over residents. They don't call it insufficient allocations when they cash the pittance granted to those disabled. They call it cruelty. After they jump through the hoops of qualification, to prove they cannot jump through hoops of occupation, to be relegated to the hoops for social services, designed for their new inevitable social station, with more strings and impediments and indignities than those who are ever able to see. They don't call it poverty, when the few have a lot while the lot have a little. They call it exploitation, as they work their full-time hours and can't live off the livable wage determined mathematically callously by those who've never had to live on it, when payday covers back payments owed and a rainy day means they will drown. We don't call it poverty. You call it poverty. So you can decide how little of your much you are willing to part with and then call it charity, without any clarity that it's this system without parity that makes escaping it a rarity. The disparity is growing while you willfully ignore the erosion of your insularity. The time is coming for you to answer for the severity of your financial barbarity. I was on a rant on that one. And we will end with the rice cake offensives, which is one of my favorite newish poems. You said, have a rice cake. They're a great snack. I can't tell if you truly believed that, or if you simply wanted it to be true, wanted to be nourished, satisfied by a thing more air than substance. Perhaps you had taken the old axiom too literally. You are what you eat. You wanted to be airy and light, not solid and thick. We are porridge people, Mom. Why are you always trying to make us into vegetable sticks? You told me it was a great snack as you placed a styrofoam puck in front of me, waved a hand, eat, as if the object in front of me was food, not packing material for fragile items, not a coaster for a cold drink, not bedding for a beloved pet hamster. Why was only the hamster allowed to be round and cute? You had purchased multiple flavors. I'd recently seen The Princess Bride. I don't think that word means what you think it means, Mom. You were unamused. You didn't often play with me, but now we played pretend together, nodding frantically as we chewed and chewed and chewed. I could hear you counting the calories expended as our jaws worked. The confusion of my ancestors cried out from the DNA in every cell of my body as I worked those tough bites of nothingness around my soft palate. Farmers, the lot of them. Scottish, Irish, Ukrainian, pale people who like potatoes. Maybe that's why I was shaped like one. I manifested a culinary destiny, built to endure famine, but living in a time of recreational starvation, cosmetic hunger. Nothing tastes as good as skinny feels. Well, I think skinny feels like the dry pebbled surface of a rice cake, barren, a desert of no dessert. In my hunger, I spent too much time ruminating. What is the purpose of food, fuel or fun? Why would things taste good or bad if that didn't matter? I was so hungry all the time, the dry styrofoam texture making me gag as I dreamed of all the food I'd eat when you couldn't see. I thought, what did I do to deserve this? I knew. I was weighed down. I was weighing you down. You wanted me to fly. I just wanted a snack. We were the rice cake generation, the veterans of the war on fat. Ironically, eventually, the fattest generation to date. We lost the war with rice cakes. They don't make great ammunition. We grew up and celebrated the loss with real cake, chocolate, and therapy to deal with our eating disorders and the lies we were told, starting with have a rice cake. They're a great snack. And that brings me to the end of my set. So thank you all very much for listening.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. That was an amazing set. Everyone unmute and give it up for
Yes.
Wow. Amazing.
Yeah, let's go.
I just love to listen to her, period.
Deeply moving.
Yep,
Yeah,
that was
a
a
few-
dope set. Thank you, Kelly Mary.
few of those pieces hit. All right, the little heart. Yeah, I don't have a heart, but whatever's in that little empty cavern right there, felt them. You have this way with how you write, where it's like very like Dr. Seussian, like it sounds very playful and light, but what you're talking about is very profound and relatable, and I love that. Not a lot of people are able to make that. It's a very fine balance to be able to do that. Not a lot of people are able to do that. So, what's something that we don't know about you?
I'm medically allergic to the cold. It's not very
Wow.
of me. I hive below certain temperatures. Like I break out in hives all over my exposed skin. So like my face and my arms get all like bumpy and itchy and burny.
Really?
Yes. I have to have,
I thought you were joking.
I did
I
too.
know.
That's why I laughed. I'm sorry.
Everyone thinks I'm joking, but it's called cold urticaria. I'm medically allergic to the cold.
And you live in Canada.
And I live
That makes sense.
the
Wow.
only real thing.
I'm sorry. I had to laugh at that one. Go ahead.
I
I'm
know.
sorry, Kelly.
No, I get it. It's the least Canadian thing about me. The most is my proclivity to say I'm sorry and finish every sentence with the word a, which I do unironically. Um, but yeah, the biggest danger is things like what happened at my after prom. So for our after prom, we went to a friend's cottage. Again, very Canadian. So we're on an island in the woods. We're all just like running around in like dirty sweatpants with too much alcohol for children who are not old enough to be drinking it. And the lakes here don't actually get warm sometimes ever. So in June, they're never warm. Lakes are not warm in June. Lakes are cold as fuck in June. And so my friends wanted to know if it was warm enough to swim in yet. So they threw me in as the human barometer. And when I
That's
came
fucked
out
up.
shivering, covered in hives, they were like, nope. I guess
The
it's not
hell?
time.
Those are not your friends.
I know, right?
You needed to do a carry on them for real. I'm just saying. My God.
Right. No, they were good friends for other parts. There was the party where I accidentally lit my hand on fire, lighting a flaming sambuca shot. Those you should do one flaming shot. One
Jesus.
multiple shots. You're no longer in a condition to do flaming shots. I spilled too much and I accidentally lit my hand on fire. So that time when they threw me in a pool, it was for my own good.
You had a very fun, what is it, adolescence?
I
Early adulthood?
yes. I got kicked out when I was about 17. So I spent my last year and a half of high school living with my friends and then living in a boarding house. And I ran with a crowd that didn't have a lot of adult supervision. Their parents were sort of out of the picture or just inattentive for various reasons. So some of them had money. I did not. I was working part-time after school to pay my bills while I was going to school. And I had a little bit of money from my dad that just covered the rent on my room. And because we had no supervision and we're clearly deeply traumatized children with attachment problems, we went wild. So I have a lot of fun stories of my alcoholic 19-year-old self. I don't drink much anymore. Got it all out of my system in high school.
Wow. That's all I
Our
can
trauma
say.
makes way for great stories, right?
Absolutely.
That's why we're poets.
Yeah, got a lot to say.
What's your favorite color?
Red, but I mean every color of red, and I'm including pink as a shade of red.
Okay.
Yeah,
You were
'cause
very serious about that.
I'm very serious about that. Pink used to just be a shade of red. It was not its own color for a very long time. That's why little boys wore pink, because red was seen as the more masculine color and blue has traditionally been the feminine color associated with Madonna.
Mhm.
Madonna being Mary, not Madonna being Vogue. Different Madonna. And so little boys used to wear pink until like the 1900s, the early 1900s, and then they were like, pink's a girl's color. But I love the vibrancy of like a bright burgundy, and as much as I love the like plasticky joy of a hot pink.
Okay.
I've clearly put too much thought into this.
No.
I'm still it conflicts with, did you say you got kicked out of school or you quit school?
No, I stayed in school. Got kicked out of my house.
Okay. I stand corrected.
Yeah,
Okay,
so I
then.
was staying on my own. I did drop out of university though, because I was deeply traumatized and very mentally ill. And those two things don't go well with self-guided learning.
Right. I guess my interview's over. I didn't think of a lot of questions. I just wanted.
You want me to interview you?
No.
I can do it.
I'm good. You'll have to get your own show for that, and then recycle the feature and make me feature.
Fair enough. But I already have a poetry workshop.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. And it's an amazing poetry workshop. You guys should go to it. She does it on first and third Tuesdays,
Second and fourth. But
second and fourth Tuesdays. Yeah.
I'll throw the link in the chat for you.
Also in the chat, if you don't mind, put your Cash App. Guys, you know, unfortunately, Kelly is sitting on a book that she hasn't published yet. I'm not supposed to say anything about it, but I'm saying it. But you can't buy her book. So, you know, if you can throw her, you know, enough for a coffee or something, hit her up in her Cash App. I will send you something Friday, Kelly. So make sure to send me your Cash App as well.
Oh, can I send you PayPal?
Huh?
Can I send you my PayPal? We don't have Cash App in Canada.
Oh, I'm sorry. PayPal her. PayPal her. Yes, you can send me PayPal. But definitely find ways to, if you enjoyed what you heard today, show her your appreciation if you can. Like I said, like $2-3, cup of coffee from a regular coffee shop, not Starbucks, would be fine. So, and talking about supporting poets, there's a few other open mics tonight. Billy Tuggle has his Untethered at 10 o'clock. Wits has his at 9, and Midnight and Chance have theirs. Put it in the chat at 9:15. So if you guys are still in the poetry mood, definitely hop by one of those to share some more. I'll let us end. It is specific. And what's funny is those guys, they talk so much. So they start their show at 9:15, but it doesn't actually like start till 9:45 because they spend so much time talking. I featured for them once, and like Priceless was one of the people that came to watch it, but they talked so much that he logged out. Like he's like, I didn't want to hear them talk anymore. I'm sorry. And I was like, thanks.
Yeah, I left once because Chance got on my nerves.
Yeah,
Midnight had invited me, but I didn't appreciate how he was cracking on people from Brooklyn that don't live in Brooklyn anymore. And
Yeah.
I'm like, he don't know me like that, so I'm not gonna say anything. I'm just gonna exit stage left.
Yeah, he does that. I'm not gonna lie. I think him and I are a lot alike though, because we're both kind of sarcastic assholes. He's a good guy though, and does a lot.
Okay.
And actually, when I featured with him, that's what we did, because I was born in the Bronx, and when he found that out, like it was me and him versus Midnight. So
I didn't know that about you, so I just learned something. That's cool.
Yeah,
I didn't grow
up. I didn't grow up there though, you know. So people get mad at me and tell me I can't claim it. You know how it is. So
no, you were born there. You can claim it. I'm sorry.
Right. But yeah, so we had fun with that. But I will end. I'm gonna read a unfinished piece. If you have my book, this is something that I took from a piece that was in my book, and I'm trying to rework it to make it a slam piece. I'm calling it Dental Records and Family Trees, but the original poem is called Dental Records. Recently, I learned that teeth are the only part of our bodies that are unable to heal itself. Funny, my family is a set of teeth. We've been building dental records instead of family trees. I think my mother was a wisdom tooth. She never quite fit in. The pain I felt when she took up space, I never noticed she was only trying to grow. Until God plucked her from the gums of my family's smile, left only empty space, teeth slowly shifting, trying to make up for the gap. My family bracing onto a memory to hold itself together. At night, I feel us grinding against each other, swallowing blood that tastes a lot like pride, biting our tongues as if we would drool apologies down our chins if we opened our mouths. Everything leaves a stain on our relationship. I try to brush it off. It seems if you ignore it, it will only get worse. Grief is a cavity we can't seem to get rid of. No cap. When I was smaller, I tied a rope around a doorknob, slammed it shut, and tried to remove myself. but grew back stronger instead. They say teeth are the only part of our bodies that are unable to heal. And I'm hoping that isn't true.
Girl,
I don't like that
I
ending.
loved it. I'm sorry. I got excited. That was fire for real. No cap. I'm like, oh dear God. I can't stand her. She's so good. She is so
That's a
good. And
dope concept.
I am
Wow.
so happy I got her book. Oh my God. I got it yesterday. I'm part of the club now. I got the book.
There's Nemo. Nemo always has it right next to him. I don't know. You would think I was paying this guy.
Remember, checks payable to.
Right, right. I do have something for you for Christmas, though. I will send you something. But yeah, that is it for me tonight. Again, Kelly, thank you for coming through. I appreciate you. I love getting to listen to you. I get excited when I feature people because I can just get like a whole 15 minutes, just nothing but them, and I'm over here. But yes, everyone have a good night. If you need anything, reach out to me. Otherwise, we will be back in 2 weeks with Priceless as our feature.
Looking forward to it.
Yes, yes. Good night.
Thank you for an
Thanks,
amazing
everybody.
set, Kelly.
Oh, thank
Peace, people.
Great feature.
you.
What did you say? Oh, I don't know what he said. He logged off though. All right, I'm closing it.